John was always looking for new experiences to feed his adrenaline addiction. He had already tried skydiving, bungee jumping, and even exploring abandoned buildings. But he was always looking for something more. That's when he heard about the deep web and the things that could be found there. One night, John decided to explore the deep web. He navigated through different pages until he found a forum where people were talking about a ritual that could summon a demon. John was skeptical, but the more he read, the more he felt a strange pull towards it. The instructions were simple: perform the ritual in a dark room, light a candle, and repeat a chant while offering a sacrifice. John dismissed it as nonsense, but couldn't shake off the curiosity that was gnawing at him. The next day, he purchased a goat from a local farm and headed home. As the night fell, John shut himself in his dark room, lit a candle, and started the ritual. At first, nothing happened. John was relieved, but then he heard a faint whisper in his ear. He turned around, but no one was there. Suddenly, the room filled with a foul smell, and a cold breeze passed by. John could feel something watching him from the shadows. He panicked and tried to leave the room, but the door was stuck. He was trapped. As he turned around, he saw a shadowy figure slowly forming in front of him. It was the demon he had summoned, and it was hungry. John tried to run, but the demon was too fast. Days later, John's body was found in his apartment. His eyes were wide open, his face twisted in terror, and his soul was gone. The demon had claimed its sacrifice, and it was hungry for more. Rachel was a successful businesswoman who had just moved to a new city for work. She didn't know anyone and was feeling lonely, so she decided to try a new dating app called Soulmate Search. At first, the app seemed like a godsend. She met a charming man named Alex, and they quickly hit it off. But then Rachel started receiving strange notifications on her phone from Alex. They would come at all hours of the day and night, with messages like "I'm watching you," and "I know where you are." Rachel tried to block the notifications, but they kept coming. One day, Rachel decided to confront Alex about the notifications. But when she opened the app, his profile was gone. She tried to search for him, but he had vanished from the app entirely. Rachel started to feel paranoid. Was someone really watching her? Or was it all in her head? She tried to focus on work, but she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was following her. One night, Rachel was working late in her office when she heard a noise outside. She looked out the window but saw nothing. She went back to work, but the notifications on her phone started up again. "I'm right outside your door," they read. Rachel panicked and called the police, but when they arrived, they found nothing. No one was there. The notifications continued, and Rachel became increasingly paranoid. She stopped leaving her apartment, and the only time she would venture out was to go to work. But even then, she felt like she was being followed. One day, Rachel received a notification that changed everything. It was a photo of her as a child, playing in the park with her parents. But the photo had been edited to show a shadowy figure standing behind them. Rachel finally realized the truth. The notifications weren't coming from Alex or anyone else on the dating app. They were coming from a long-forgotten stalker from her past who had found her through the app. Rachel knew what she had to do. She contacted the police and gave them all the information she had. They were able to track down the stalker and arrest him. Rachel was relieved that it was all over. But she knew she would never be able to forget the feeling of being watched and followed, even when she was alone in her apartment with no one around. The phantom notifications would haunt her for the rest of her life.